One of the most vicious and hot-tempered of these watery predators is the seemingly harmless soft-shelled turtle. They weigh up to 30 pounds and have extremely strong jaws which hide a set of very hard knife-like mandibles. They prey mainly on mollusks, frogs, and fish eggs, and on the odd occasional fish themselves. Fish are perhaps the most difficult prey for the turtle to catch because they are highly sensitive to movement in the water. They are able to detect the presence of the turtles by the change in pressure in the water as the turtles approach. But the soft-shelled turtle is an efficient hunter in the water. Even the native people of the Everglades treat this turtle with extreme caution, for he is a savage fighter and can sever a man's finger with one bite. Another aspect of the fish's behavior which makes them difficult prey to catch is that they are highly transient creatures. They move from one area to another almost on a daily basis as the rains affect the level, temperature, and salinity of the waters in the Everglades. Still, the turtle remains ever alert for the right opportunity to pass by. But he's not always so lucky. Meanwhile, one fisherman who has been standing on the sidelines seems to be having much better luck. Another creature which can be found living in and around the waters of the Everglades is the otter. This semi-aquatic animal is by far a more formidable predator than the turtle, and it is very much at home both on land and in the water. When traveling, it prefers to use the water, where aided by its streamlined body and webbed feet, it is more agile than most creatures that live entirely in water. When the otter is on the prowl, even the birds in the area must remain alert if they happen to have young chicks in the nest near the water's edge. The otter is primarily a solitary and extremely elusive creature, except during the mating season. A full-grown male measures around 4.5 feet in length and weighs close to 20 pounds. They can travel underwater for 1/4 of a mile without surfacing for air. When they travel extensively in search of new feeding grounds, making their home in any convenient hole in the riverbank. Although the otter catches its food in the water, it always takes it on shore to eat. And if you happen to be within a reasonable distance of one when it is eating, you can hardly miss it from the noise it makes smacking its lips. In all the Everglades, there can be no other creature which is more closely identified with the swampy waters than the alligator. Fierce as it may look, the alligator can be quite a gentle creature, except when it is hunting for food, if it is cornered, or if its path to the water is blocked by something. Under these conditions, it becomes a very dangerous animal indeed. Alligators average in size between 6 and 12 feet in length, with some reaching a maximum of 18 feet. They have a broad, blunt snout, and the ears and nostrils are protected by flaps of skin which close when they are underwater. They also have good eyesight and hearing. The alligator is also the only reptile with a loud voice, and its bellowing, which is a form of challenge to other male alligators approaching its territory, can be heard a long way off. When another alligator trespasses on a male's territory, no time is lost in dealing with the situation. During the more vicious fights over territorial rights, these creatures often inflict very serious damage on each other, some losing part of their jaws to the crushing bites of the other. But actual combat is rare. Bluffing usually does the trick. When they are not involved in disputes over territories, They are most often in the water searching for food. These creatures eat literally any other creature they can get their hands on, including the very young of their own kind, for the male alligator is also a cannibal. But more often than not, in the Everglades, their main diet is made up from the garfish, which is found in abundance in all of the waters. The fish become very agitated at the presence of the alligator, and the hunt turns into a bizarre game with the alligator trying to catch the fish as they leap through the water in an attempt to avoid capture. Once the fish has been caught, an alligator must hold its jaws above water, as it is unable to eat anything underwater without choking. This makes the creature's eating routine rather ungainly. But for the alligator which has been injured in a duel with another of its kind, catching food can be an ordeal of sheer frustration. This one has had part of its lower jaw taken off in a fight, and just swallowing its prey becomes quite a task. With such extensive injuries to the jaw, it is quite possible that this alligator will slowly starve to death through its inability to feed itself sufficiently.